Good afternoon. So today's discussion is on the optional geography test. Test number 1, models and theories and laws in human geography. This is the 10th unit of paper 1. How was the test? It's easy. Really? But some different answers coming from there. Why it is tough? You couldn't recollect that information. Why you are saying it is easy? So there's you are able to write it. Okay, able to write it. So what about you?
Sir, if you look at direct question, if we ask the application, but we are habituated to only the theory and
So theory component, but you couldn't be able to answer it, right? So this is the application part of that questions, you cannot be able to answer it. Could you identify that? The what kind of application they asked? The question paper. Okay, we'll see into the question. Okay. Normally when we are going into the models and theories, there is a two type of questions will be coming. Number one, they will start with the conceptual answer, concepts, right? Second one is application. Okay, so they ask two type of questions. They go the concepts, what the person is saying. Second, how they can apply the concept into the some other area. That's the two kind of questions. In the concepts, we can able to further to one, the basics of the theory. Base of the theory, what already the author is saying, and another one from where it has been evolved. That's the basics of that is the basics of the fundamentals. What already they have asked. That's called fundamentals. Fundamentals. So the concept there is two areas. One is fundamental, another is the basics, right? And the application is really, we can say in a two component. One is critics. Another is going to be the present day relevance. So present day relevance. So there are two aspects. So there are four types of question will come under models and theories. One, they'll ask from the fundamentals, application fundamental as the basics of the theory, how the author is used it, and the critics of the theory, what exactly that is pros and cons of the theory, or negatives and positives. Then the present day relevance at present, how it can be applicable. These are the four areas. Other than they're asking the theory, they can ask all these questions. So we should know whether the question exactly asked from the fundamental or from the basics or from the application or maybe the present day relevance. If you're able to identify it, then we can be able to answer only that component, not all the theories, whatever you know it. Clear? Now we move on to the content directly. Okay, you don't want to go beyond that. So directly we go into the questions. So the first questions, this is the first set of questions, right? But in the question paper, I given a 6 questions. I asked to write 5. So you have a choice in that. You have to select any one. You have to leave any one. Okay. Now I will ask. You can find the questions. There are, I guess, the 4 types of questions in your models and theories. And when you're reading the question, you should identify what type of question it is. Right. Just go to the question number 1 and A. Describe age of mass consumption. Can you say what kind of question it is? I said the 4 types. Is it concept or the fundamental of the concept? You got it what I'm asking? I said 4 types of questions, right? Number 1, fundamentals. From the fundamental, we derive the concept. From the concept, we derive the theory. With the theory, we go for application. The application, we go for current events. That is present day relevance. There are 5 modes of. In that, what kind of question it is? Just you find describe age of mass consumption. This is fundamental. Why you are saying is fundamental?
because this will become the roster history of the
Okay. You are saying this is from the Rosso's model, but it's not just from Rosso's model. This is the economical concept. Just keep in mind, if models and theories question, if they are giving the theory name or the author name, then only it's considered to be as a theory question. If they're not giving both of it, if they're giving generally, that is perceived to be as a general question. It should not be considered as a models and theories. Okay, here it is given age of mass consumption. This is a purely economical geography question. Rostow's taken the idea of age of mass consumption from the economy and he fit into that theory. So now they are asking what is age of mass consumption. They didn't ask about what Rostow said. They are asking about what is age of mass consumption. So when you are writing an answer to this question, we should not mention the name of Rostow's model. We can mention the Rostow's model name only at the end of the answer, not in the introduction. If writing age of mass consumption given in Rostow's model at the stage of fuel, if you are saying like that, it's considered to be as you are writing a model in theory, that is, you are writing a Rostow's model. This is wrong. This is not perceived to be as a core answer. But you write as a age of mass consumption to go with our content. So we will start with that answer. So here first we start with the definition. Definition, what is age of mass consumption. Then we have to write about the characteristics of each and every stages. Ultimate stage of a process of economic growth, high level technological maturity, good balance between the production, consumption, trade and commerce, countries, those endowments. All these characters what already we have studied it. But at the end, we give some examples also here. We give some examples. At the end, then we can add the name of a Rostow in the conclusion. This idea is used by the Rostow to explain the various stages of development of the society. Got it? So whenever you see a question in a question paper, just find out it is which type of question it is. Based on that, you have to answer. We should not write whatever we are seeing, we can able to write it. Right? This is 12.5 mark question. Just imagine, suppose if you are writing the question in the proper order, giving a definition and the characters and the example and a Rostow at the end. So you can able to score 7 marks. If suppose you are writing this question as only with the Rostow's model, start with this is the age of mass consumption is given by the Rostow in the 5th stage of model, and you are explaining about the Rostow. But you are giving the same content, but at the perspective of Rostow's. How much mark will you get? Obviously, you will get only 3 marks out of 12.5. So you know that answer, but the way how you perceive the question, you lose 4 marks. This is the scenario many of the main students will say, I wrote mains well, but I didn't get the marks. This is the basic problem. More than 90% students, if it's there, I wrote mains, but I didn't get the marks, this could be the scenario. Once they see the title, they start answering it without seeing the types of question. Particularly whenever some theory comes, so keep in mind whether it is a fundamental or a basic, or maybe a theory, or maybe its applicability, or it may be the percentage levels. So check the type, then you start writing it. Clear? Okay, now we move on to the next question. Empowered women are a critical factor in changing the demographic transition of a country. How? What type of question it is? General question. See, imagine it's a general question. Okay. This is taken from, this is taken from demographic transition, but we cannot say this is a transition model. So we are talking demographic transition is the fundamental here. It's fundamental here. That fundamental is applied over the empowerment of women. Application of fundamental concepts, not the theory. So we have to write first. They started with empowerment of women. So we start with the importance of women. 50% of population. We start with women. We should not start with the demographic transition, because this is a two-way of questions. So this is called as a multi-element question. The two elements they are given: the empowered woman and demographic. Empowered woman and demographic transition. They are giving two elements here. Two elements. When there are two elements, we should know what should write in the first. Here, empowered women are a critical factor of changing the demographic transition of the country. So, empowered woman is the prime factor, demographic transition is the consequence factor. So, causative factor is the empowered woman. So, we start answer with the empowered woman. So, we are talking about women are 50% of population. Relation among the women in just we have to think about demographic relationship among the women in demography. We talked about pre-industrial revolution, post-industrial revolution, how the woman contributed. So there is no contribution in the revolution and economic development by the woman. That is why the revolution was getting slower down. But at present we have a woman empowerment already is developed. So most of the areas that women are working equal to men. So we have a higher employment force. So we have now we have 100% of employability here. Pre-industrial and post-industrial only 50% employment was there. Employers were there. Only 50% male were working. Now 100% population is working. Now imagine what will happen to the demographic transition. Got the idea? Now the answer, now you start with the answer. Because once woman empowerment happens, the thinking of woman will get changes. Before pre-industrial revolution, post-industrial revolution, the main target of the woman was taking care of the family. They have enough time to take care of the children. They can able to give more birth. They don't have any other work. But after the woman empowerment, they get educated, they get into employment, they also have some career along with them. So they don't have much time to taking care of the children. Now think about how the demography will changes. Decision making a woman will influences the demography of a country. After 1980s, when Government of India started to implement population policy, they targeted empowerment of a woman. Once women get education and they go into the job, they normally they will not willing to take more number of children. So we can reduce the birth rate. Obviously, demography will get changes, population will get growth will get reduced. So this is purely based on application of demographic transition model on the population control. Got the answer? Is it clear? See, you note down everything, and if you are not written the same way for this test, you rewrite the test at home, bring your papers again. Clear? Take 3 hours again. The way how we are discussing here in the same pattern, you rewrite it again and bring the paper. I will check it again. We'll say how much we are doing it. So we can rewrite it again. No? We will get into the pattern and what they are asking. We should know that. Clear?
Sir, these questions, suppose we are taking we are trying to answer with the help of demographic transition. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1, what is the, how we can make the poverty environment from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3.
Yes, correct. So pre-industrial revolution, it will be a stage 1. Post-industrial revolution, it will go to be a stage 2. Then 3 and 4 will come after that. So women empowerment era, it leads to stage 4. Obviously, go to stage 4. We can take the keywords, we can use it, everything we can use it from the model, but we should not use that name and that author. We should not use the Thomson notation, we should not use the name of demographic transition model. Without naming it, we can use demographic transition. That's all. We should not show I have taken from there. Make it general. It's clear? Shall we go to the next question? Next question is inter-industry linkages. Analyze the importance. This is okay. So what kind of question it is? First, you tell me that. This is general and application component. So inter-industry linkage is a concept. That concept I am going to apply it to find the importance. Purely it is also based on industry-based question, right? Industry-based question, because this concept is used by Parax and Bolvilli in growth pole model for development of our regions, right? But we are not going to use this concept, use the name of the people, but we are going to explain only what is the meaning of inter-industry linkages. That's all. How this concept is going to be important in developing economy, developing industry, developing employment, developing regional development, everything we have to talk about that, but we should not use the name of the person and the theory. Got it? So here we can say we can two types of linkages: backward linkage, forward linkage. Backward linkages, when industry is getting linked to some other industry by taking raw material, by taking some transports. And forward linkages, we are taking some industry taking help of other industry for the packaging, for clearing the waste. So these are forward linkages. This is backward and forward linkages. We have to talk about backward forward linkages. Right? Here we can talk about industrial agglomeration, which is a part of Weber's theory. When there's industrial agglomeration, the more industries will be put together to have a industry linkages. So we can borrow the concept from him also. No need to go only with the growth pole theory, because this is a basic concept that industry linkages also can be also used in agglomeration. That is why he said in this agglomeration to reduce the travel, what we can say, reduce the transportation cost. He using it. So one industry input can be used as an output of another industry, right? So this is the way how he is saying it. That also called industry linkages. The concept we can borrow from him also. See, instead of saying growth pole theory, you explain industry linkages. So this concept used by after application of giving all the importance, giving a conclusion. This concept used by Braxton Bolwilli in the development of a growth pole model, and also used by Weber to introduce the industrial agglomeration in his model to identify the better location of our industries. That's it. You can write only that also. So see, this is the basic concept. It can be used by anybody. That's why I'm saying when it is general, you should think as a general. You should not go into one theory perspective. You can able to bring many content from other theories. That's why we should study theory in the part by part. You should not study as a complete as a theory. When you study a theory, you study what is fundamental of the theory, what is how fundamental apply to find bring the concept, how the concept is applicable in the components of the theory, how the concept of theory can be applied at different parts of the world, and how the at present day relevance each and every component is applicable. If you study component, this kind of questions can be easily written, because once you prepare the components of the theories, then you are able to identify similar components. You can find similar theories. Then you preparing, so you can match it. So the same concept, same component, we can match together. We can bring together writing exams. You can bring it. This is analytical. This is called as preparation for civil services. Not just reading whatever given in the books. We have to prepare it. We have to perceive the content. How to present in the papers. Unless they are giving the name of the theory or the person, we can link anything with that question. We are free. Right? Okay. Next question is differentiate least cost location and maximum revenue location. Okay, this is basic concepts. These are the basics normally used in industrial location. So we know least cost location used by Weber, maximum revenue location used by Loge. So we have two different theories, two different concepts. I am going to ask only, just compare it, the basics of these two ideology. So the least cost location primarily based on reduction of our production cost. You can see opposite, maximum location will have always higher production cost. Least cost location will use a low raw material input. This is higher raw material input. Cheaper raw material and costly raw material. Right? And the lesser the transport distance, higher the transport distance. And wages always will be less, here everything will be high. So you can see the least cost, everything will be in the lowest cost. Maximum revenue, they don't bother about the cost they spend to produce the product. Now we go with some examples. Can you give some examples for least cost production? The industry will try to produce the material with the least cost to sell with the public. What kind of materials? Okay, we can say iron and steel industries, cotton textiles, jute industries. Right? So these are, they try to reduce the cost, right? we can say at present we can say software companies, IT companies, they are coming to India to reduce the wage. But can you give me some of the industries which are having a maximum revenue location? They never bother about the cost of production. They can able to sell it at any cost. Automobiles, we cannot say all automobile industries. We can say Suzuki, Hyundai. These are, they try to reduce the manufacturing cost. All luxury goods. Even automobiles. Do we have a Rolls-Royce automobile company in India? But still we have big market. Why they are not having in India? The person, those who are ready to buy Rolls-Royce, they never bother about the cost of the product. They can buy it even from the German or maybe anywhere other part of the world, right? All luxury goods, gold, right? So whenever you talk about some luxury good, the people those who are going to buy a luxury item, they never bother about the price of the product. They always bother about only the quality, whether it is available or not. That's all. So all luxury goods is come under maximum revenue location. They never bother about the cost of the price. Yes, maximum revenue location, not only market based. I'm keeping an industry here where I can able to sell anywhere. I don't want to reduce the cost by finding a better location for the cost of, to reduce the cost. I don't want to do that. Even though I have a maximum production cost, I can sell it because there are people to buy it. Not footloose industries. See, the product market anywhere you can say it. That's why I said all luxury goods. Simply, that's why in the Rolls-Royce car, it can be sold even in German, even can German sell in India. Okay. Why Maruti Suzuki they have plant in India? They can produce it in Japan. They can bring it here. But why they produce it in India? To reduce the cost of production that they're producing and they're selling it. So they are least cost production. Tata Nano, least cost production. Hyundai company, least cost production. Toyota, least cost production. So these all are based on least cost production, but all the basic goods what public needed. This always goes with the least cost production only. Clear? Okay, we go to the second question. Now, every question is having 25 marks, right? Each question 25 marks. So, we are asking to write 6 pages. Whenever they are giving a pages in, already I have told in the class, no need to fill the pages. We have to be able to answer the question based on our writing speed, right? Here they are asking 6 pages. Possible to write 6 pages? Not possible. So, we can write maximum of 4.5 pages. We can able to complete that answer. That's more 9 pages. We can fix like that. We know that already. We know if you are able to write 5 minutes, 1 page in a 5 minutes. So we can able in 180 minutes. How much we can write? 1 page. 36 pages we can write. Maximum 36 pages. Okay. In that 180 minutes, 10 minutes, if you leave it for thinking and signing all administrative process and finding question selection everything, we have 170. So we can write 34 pages only. In the 34 pages, you have to write 5 questions. At maximum, you can write 7 pages per question. But one full number. If in the 3 division, 4, you can say 3, 2, 2. Or 2 division, we can write 3.5, 3.5. That means even though they are giving 6 pages, we can able to finish answer within 3.5 pages. Because that is our writing speed. If you are writing 6 pages, you will lose another 25 mark question. They will tempt you to write by giving more pages. Here we feel it. I am leaving a lot of pages here, but it may be get a penalty. Don't bother with the penalties. Giving a space at the end of the paper, it will not be given a penalty. Right? So don't bother about the leaving. So you finish 3.5 page, just strike out all other pages, go to the next question. It's very simple. Right? The first question, 2A. Who rules the heartland, commands the world? Who rules the heartland, commands the world? Evaluate the statement with respect to present day relevance. Now you tell me what kind of question it is. Application. Application of the present relevance of what? Heartland or heartland theory. Heartland only. So still we are not entering into the theory here. I didn't talk about who rules the heartland, common the world. I am given only single line. I ask you to evaluate it with the perspective of. I didn't ask about who is author of the heartland. Mackinder. I didn't ask about the Mackinder name. I didn't give as a heartland theory. I asked you to evaluate the value of the heartland at present day. Clear? So make sure that you are writing only heartland, not heartland theory. Now you have to start with what is heartland. Start with the definition and how the heartland evolved. Evolution of heartland, how it will be. So we can go with the pre-war period. The war is we are talking about world wars. Before World War I, then between World War I and II is considered to be as interwar period, then post World War, then post Cold War. So that's kind of the sentence you should know it. Okay. So pre-war period, pre-Cold War, the pre-World War. So we consider each and every area which are having more resources considered to be as a heartland. Which are having more resource, the people are trying to grab that area because they're having more resource. It can be used for the development. Based on that idea, Mackinder given a theory, heartland theory, by saying Russia is having a lot of land, they are having a lot of resources. So now heartland theory of Mackinder coming in only in this location. Here only we are right about the Mackinder. Because he is giving ideas based on the strategic location. Why the strategy? Because he is having more resource. If we rule that world, we can rule the heartland, we can rule the world. That's his ideology. But after the World War, the entire ideology is changed. It's a market based and functional group. What is market based? After the industrial revolution, now they need a market to sell it. Wherever the high amount of population, that the countries is treated as a heartlands. If you have good relationship with them, then we can go and we can sell the product. So the countries are coming towards the particular country. So all the countries are having a high population. Why all the countries have good relations with India? Why all the countries are trying to have good relationship with India? Because a huge 130 million population, right? They can sell it. Even 50% people buy it, their company will become high success. That's why India is a market-based heartland. India is a market heartland. But they cannot sell it in China. They have different policies. That is why each and every company targets India. India is a market heartland. Then after the market base, the functional group has evolved. Functional groups are SAARC, ASEAN, okay, and NATO, G20, G7, G8, all these groups. These are functional groups. If I want to sell some of the material in Southeast Asia, if I have good terms with ASEAN, I can sell the product. Now ASEAN become a heartland based on my ideology. ASEAN is a functional group. Anybody want to bring something to South Asia, they should have a good relationship with SAARC. Right? Otherwise, they cannot enter into any of the SAARC countries. Now the functional group become a heartland. After the Cold War, superpowers. Who is a superpower? At present scenario is, who is superpower? That's the question. Who is superpower? Everybody tried to claim they are the superpowers. US claims as superpower. Right? Britain claims a superpower, Russia claims superpower, China claims superpower, South Asia, India claims superpower. Everyone claims they are superpowers. Why they are claiming superpower? If they say I am the superpower in South Asia, so all the countries South Asia, they come to me. I have a control of their markets, their resources and their relationship. So I am going to be a heartland, so they have to come to me because I am the superpower. So at present scenario, superpowers are become a heartlands. Everybody having good allies with the USA. Why? Because this is a superpower. The people whoever thinks USA is superpower, they have good allies with them. Then only everything will go well. So this is the way how we take it. So who rules the heartland? Come on the world. That's why everybody try to rule the heartland in different situations, different circumstances to rule the world. So when now the heartland perspective changes, then they try to change their ideology also. So this is purely based on international relations based heartland analysis. Clear? Okay. Go to this question number B. In any case, it is not always possible to identify ideal or optimal locations because of the uncertainties in the market and supply situations the firms face. In accordance with the above discussion, bring out the various approaches to locate the industries. Okay. Now, what kind of question it is? Completely fundamental in character. Okay, they're asking approach of the question. They're not asking about any theories. They're asking about approach. How we'll approach the location of industry. That's the question. Okay. So this approach is the kindly fundamental for each and every theories of industrial location. Is every theory they follow different kind of approaches. Now we have to put all the approaches put together. We have to explain it. But normally we study only one approach. What kind of approach? Least cost approach and maximum revenue. We only study with these two. Least cost approach in Weber's model, maximum revenue in Last model. What about the remaining and all? So when you study about the theory, we should just move out of the theory. We should know what are the remaining possibilities are there. Just get to know what is what. So when you talk about least cost approach, okay, what are different approaches of industrial location? Just go and read it. So we can find all these approaches. Normally, two type of approach. One is optimum behavior and satisfier behavior. Optimizer behavior, normally they try to increase the profit, maybe reducing the cost of production or maybe increasing the selling price. So their approach is always they want to be maximum profit. That is the optimizing behavior. Another kind of behavior it is satisfier behavior. Even though if not getting a maximum amount of profit, at least a nominal profit is enough. That is called satisfying behavior. I am satisfied with the profit, that is enough. I don't want with a maximum amount of profit. I don't want 100 crores. If even 10 crores, that is enough. I am happy with that. Is called satisfier approach. In the optimizing behavior, we have least cost approach, maximum revenue approach, market area approach, interdependent approach. All these approaches will try to find the location of industry which reduces the location cost and increasing the profit, or maybe increasing the profit based on the proper location in the market. And these two, satisfier behavior, behavioral approach and structural approach, these two are always giving a satisfaction model. The behavior decides. For example, in India, okay, we cannot start an tobacco industry in Punjab. Why? They will not smoke. So if Sikh says, okay, if I cultivate, if somebody says, if I go and cultivate, I can produce a smoke, I can produce some cigarette industries, I can sell it more, but it's not possible because the culture says they don't. So even though it's having a mass of people they are smoking it, not even single Sikh can join in a smoking industry. They will not start a smoke industry because the behavior of the Sikh says they will not smoke. The culture decides. Even though it is having a more profitable industry, but they will not do that because their culture decides, their customs decides. That is called behavioral approach. The behavior of a person decides whether he will start an industry or not. Clear? So these kind of materials we can get when you are preparing a theory, when you are studying a theory. If any terminology comes, go take the terminology, try to read a little bit more beyond the theory. Because sometimes that itself may be a question. That we cannot be able to write, if unless you are preparing like that, you cannot be able to write beyond the theories. So we stick on to the theory. So it's not the people expect, if you are reading a theory, you should have some wider perspective. Why this person has this kind of approach? So what other kind of approaches are there? This is the aspect of the mentality of a civil servant. That is called depth of interest. Particularly in the civil service, there are 11 characters checked by a UPSC. And you know what are the 11 characters? That we'll discuss one day. In that 11 characters, one is depth of interest. That depth of interest exactly checked in your optional subject. They will check you how much interest you have in the subject, because the subject selected by you, not anybody else. They are giving options, but there is no option in GS. So they cannot check the depth of interest in GS. They will check a wider perspective and different angles. How much you are wider perspective. But in G optional, they will check your depth of interest, how much depth you have. Not only stick onto the syllabus. In the syllabus, you have to go out of the content and read it. If you are interested, you will read it. If you are interested in one sports, you can able to travel anywhere, any part of the world, you will play it. If you are interested. So same way, you selected geography, then you should show the depth of interest in that. Not only within the sticking to the syllabus. Right? Go to the third question. Economic and social history are interrelated in the development of a society. Prove the statement with a suitable theoretical base. Now only the name is coming. What? Using theoretical base. Now it's given theoretical base. Now see, they didn't ask directly Rostos. They are asking you to find a best suitable theory. Now you should select yourself Rosto. Now you should give a justice why you are going to selecting a Rostos. Right? Suppose they prove the statement with Rostos theoretical base. It's not at all issue at all. We can start from the Rostos. We can start writing it. But explicitly they didn't give us Rostos. No, we have to select it.
Sir, this question can be solved with the help of
Now you can check it. They are asking economic and social history. They are asking. Now it goes with Rostos. That's the ideology. We are what kind of terminology they are using. What is the outcome of the de Moivre transition model? What will be the outcome of the Rostos? So which will fit here? That's why we have to give a justification why you are choosing the Rostos. Then you start explaining the Rostos. We write about economic and history and the social history. Again, you start with the ancient, pre-industrial revolution, post-industrial revolution, how the society behaves. You stick so economic history and the social history. The relation between economic history and social history, vice versa. Economic history influences society, social history explains economic history. So both influence vice versa. Now this concept is explained in a Rostos model, stages of growth. Now you are explaining yes, this kind of relationship explained by Rostos model of growth. So this theory will prove the previous statements. Then you start with the various stages of model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're writing E5, you have to write each and every economical character and social character in all 5 stages. Got it? So now we are entered into the theory, but in indirect way, you have to choose the theory to write. You should give the supporting statements why you have chosen the theory in first paragraph. It can run half a pages. Then you start writing it. So theory goes another 2 pages. Right? Okay, now we go to the next question. How does Marx believe an alternative theory of wage determination will lead to population control? I have given the name Marx. So directly we have to write contribution of marks in population growth control. So we have to write everything, but we have to reorder the content based on the question. Start with ideology of marks on population increase. Why population increases? Why, what marks is? Then you talk about what is relative surplus population and circumstances of surplus population. Then what happens when rich versus poor? When rich become rich, why poor become poor? The concept of lion's share. Idea of a poor increasing population, because the population is their only source for him to earn money. So rich become richer, poor become poorer. So because of the wage determination increases the population in the society. So now the marks giving alternate ways of determination. How? Share from the profit. Idea of socialist. When share from the profit get by if given to the labor will not increase the labor force. So population will start to population growth will start to reduce. So it increasing income, stability in the family, and population control will come. So there's the same story, but we have to reorder based on the question demands. See, investor investing in that owner, okay, the capitalist. So they're investing a huge amount of money in the industry. Now just imagine he is giving a salary to the employers. If there are 10 vacancies, if 10 labor comes, then you have to give more salary to them, because we need all 10 labors. But 100 labors comes, what will you do? There is a competition among the labors. So you try to reduce your salary. You will not give 100 rupees, you will give only 80 rupees. Whoever comes, come and work. You are ready to come, because if you are leaving it, somebody will come and take. Even if you give 50 rupees, people are ready to work, because there are much more competition for that one work. So now imagine when labor increases, okay, now the competition for the one labor, one work, now the owner will reduce the cost. Automatically owner will have a more amount of money, labor will get less amount of money. So now rich will getting richer, poor will getting poorer. But all this profit is created by labor. Labor works day and night in the industry. He bring the profit, but owner takes all the profit, giving a little bit to the labor. The concept of lion's share is lion, lioness. Which will go to the field to hunt? Lioness. Who will eat maximum? Lion. So lioness will go to the field, they hunt, they bring the food, but lion will come eat everything, then leave everything to all other lioness. So it will take maximum as much as possible. So the capitalists take maximum and giving a meager amount to the labor. That's called lion's share concept. Just what he says, we have to share everything, whatever, to the labor also, because they are the part of industry. So only with the capital, that owner cannot produce the profit, because the equal amount of the work is labor given by the laborers. So laborers are working, capitalists giving investment. So both are equal. So share should go equally. That is the concept of socialism. To illustrate with the examples, concept of central place, threshold population, and frictional effects of distance. Can you tell me what kind of question it is? Sir, completely fundamental. Now I explain the fundamental, apply the concept, and bring some examples. That's we are not going to talk about theories, but we can use the name of a theory in concept of central place. This concept is used by the Kristaller to bring out the central place theory ideology. That's all. Right? But we study all these concepts and models, central place model. But these all things are not derived by him. Already it is in economical sense, economical theories. So he borrowed the ideology, he put together, he prepared some dish. That's all. Most of the geographical theories are something like we are cooking it, just like a cooked ideologies. They borrow from statistics, they borrow from the politics, they borrow from the economics, they borrow from some ideology already is there. They will take, they will modify, they will use it here. That's all. Only one or two concepts, the new ideology of our scientists, our philosophers, that will be taken as a separate grant. Okay. Okay, now we have to explain what is center place, what is threshold population, what is the friction of a distance, and with examples. Everything we go with examples. Examples. See, the central place we can give Chennai as an example. Chennai is an administrative central place. You can write down. Okay. And we can say New Delhi is a legality central place because Supreme Court is located. Mumbai is the market central place because share market headquarters is located over there. As it is a first paper, you can give worldwide examples. New York is administrative central place. Most of the international organizations headquarters are located in New York. Detroit, industrial location, industrial central place. So we can give some examples. That is why we need to prepare the world maps also. Like this, we can bring more examples from that. Threshold population, minimum number of people needed to support any goods and services. Simple two example. Just imagine how many people you need to start a barber shop. Now, how many people you have to come to your shop in a month? Obviously, 30 per day, one person is enough, right? But you start a jewelry shop, you need more population. That's a threshold population. So you have to check out why the big jewelry shops are in the city, not in the rural areas. Because in city there are huge population. They can reach that jewelry shop, right? But if you are keeping jewelry shop, you go into far away from the city in a rural area, the very big mall, who will come over there? So your business will not reach the threshold. You will be under loss. That's why we keep it in a main marketplace to get the minimum threshold. But barber shop can be kept anywhere. 2 streets is enough for you to survive. Threshold is very less. So we can write barber shop and jewelry shop as a best example for that. Right? Barber shop and jewelry. Frictional effect of distance. When distance increases, demand decreases. Can you give an example? When distance increases, so I have to travel longer distance to buy a product. So I have to spend a lot of money in traveling. So the demand will get reduces. That's the concept. So can you give me an example? Vegetables, grocery shops, milk packet, newspapers. Whether you will take go 550 kilometers to buy the milk packet, not advisable. So the daily material, daily grocery materials, the people that are using it, they buy only from nearest places. They will not go to faraway places. It's the best example for the friction of a distance. Yeah, that's general examples. Because these are the concepts are in the daily public life. Just talking about daily public life. We are talking about central place. Coimbatore is a central place of transport because people are using it. Right? That's it. Okay, we go to question number 4. 4A. Maritime mobility was the basis of Spikeman's new type of geopolitical structure. Discuss. Now we are directly talking with theory. So we are happy with that, right? At least one question has come from the theories. Till date we are not directly asked any question from the theory, but now I ask me the theories. Okay, now just imagine it's not directly only the theory, they are asking something from the theory. What is that? Maritime mobility was the basis of Spikeman, new type of geopolitical structure. What is the new type of geopolitical structure? Importance to the rimland. So rimland countries are going to dominate in their world. They are going to dominate. They are going to rule the world. That's basically a new type of geopolitical structure. So the countries those are going to have a stronger navy. They are going to control the entire world. That is his ideology. So now we have to discuss and we have to bring some examples with you. So start with significance of maritime mobility, then concept of rimland, idea of Spikeman, and the rules. Till this we are talking about Spikeman ideology. But after we have something, we have to give a conclusion. In conclusion, we should say yes, till date that is applicable or not. In the conclusion, we are not directly giving it, because in the conclusion we should give some perspective answer. Discoveries of the New World and new island nations evolved based on maritime mobility. Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Magellan, everybody discovered new islands and new lands based on their mobility. Wherever they reached, they become a colonies of the country who sponsored them. Vasco da Gama came into India, it became Portuguese colony. And Columbus went to Caribbean islands, it became a Spanish colony because Spanish sponsored it. Right? So who sponsored that maritime mobility? That land became a colony of them. So if you don't have any maritime mobility, we don't have any control over other territories. So the new type of geopolitical structure, got it? That colonialism is a new type of geopolitical structure evolved based on Spikeman's maritime mobility. British came to India by using maritime mobility. Cook discovered Australia and New Zealand based on maritime mobility. That also become British colonies. So creation of new colonies, creation of new political structures evolved only after the development of maritime technology.
So is there a requirement of the example in that particular context, like America entering in the Indo-Pacific?
If the question goes like that, so maritime mobility was basis of Spikeman new type of political structure. Instead of discuss, they said substantiate or evaluate. Now we have to evaluate it. So till then, till this new colonies, yes, is acceptable. But after that, not only maritime mobility is controlling the entire geopolitics. So after the invention of air transport, the importance of maritime mobility is lost. In Second World War, US won over Japan only by using air transport. So after the bombing over the Japan and the win of US over Japan, so air transport become dominant over mobility of maritime mobility. So this content, when we say, is asking to evaluate it. If they ask evaluate, just discuss, we go with the normal positive content. We finish it with that, yes, because of maritime mobility is given by the Spikeman, yes, new colony has been evolved. That is a new type of geopolitical structure evolved. That's it. Stick with the question. Right? Okay, the relationship between the population and resources may be studied over both time and space. Examine the Malthusian theory of population employing the above statement. See, I given one statement up, right? The question is given one statement. The relationship between population and resources may be studied over both time and space. Got it? Both time and space. They are asking to examine the Malthusian theory with these two concepts. Because Malthus talked about resource versus population. Now we are asking to identify the Malthus concept and bring and apply with this time and space. What is time and space? Time is temporal. Space, spatial. Time and temporal. Now we have to analyze the Malthusian theory in two different perspectives. With a time, that is a temporal manner, and a spatial manner. Right? Just we start with the relationship between population and resources. Let's talk about general, because it starts with the general statement, and changes based on the time, pre-industrial, post-industrial. Pre-industrial, less population, less resources. Post-industrial, resources also increase because of technology, and population also increase the technology. But population increase rapid than the resources. Now we have a problem. So this concept is given by Malthus. Now based on a space, we can divide the world into developed country, developing country, underdeveloped country. Or it may be continental ways. So how much information do you know it? You can go with Asia, Africa, North America, South America. Based on that fact, you know it to substantiate your content. Or we can write developed, underdeveloping, developed countries. We can make it very easy also. And Malthus theory talks about its view of population, number one, and the checks, periodic checks, positive checks. There are three components. Now we have to apply these three components: developed country, developing country, and undeveloped country, based on time and space. We have to check the ideology of Malthus view of population, increasing population and resources. To take this concept, apply over developed, developing, underdeveloped countries. This is spatial along with the time, pre-industrial, post-industrial era. And we have to check evaluation of a checks, positive periodic checks, developed, developing, underdeveloped, pre-industrial, post-industrial era. There are first 5 subtitles. Got it what I am saying? Unless otherwise we know the clarity of international world demographic structures, we cannot able to write this answer. For this answer, you can get this answer from Malthusian theory of population. Criticism is there, no? Whenever you are reading that book, in that criticism will be given. The criticism you can say, they will give you some examples of USA and African countries, Asian countries. They will give some examples. If you study that example, pick that examples, we can use it here. Everything is that content. Everything will be there, whatever the material you are studying it, but you should know how to manipulate the content and fix it for your question. Questioner never ask to write everything in the same order what is in your book. They never ask it. They will ask you to, they will try to manipulate the statement. They will, you have to manipulate your theories. But everything will get in a book. No need to go for extra preparations. Malthus theory will come a lot of pages, but you can see criticism will be on 5 pages. All the criticism, supporting points and not supporting point. Supporting points, they will go like, so this is, yes, these are the countries are having a less population and less resources, and more population and less resources. And they give somewhere composite, some opposite ideas they have given. So we have to collect the points whenever preparing it. Then you have to use it here. Clear? So in this entire question, this is a little bit difficult. Even though it is a directly Malthusian question, but we cannot answer it as we know it. We have to manipulate many things.
So subjectivity of the question is different. Someone interprets something, other interprets something.
That is why I am saying how to interpret. I am saying it. First, in the statement itself, they are given 2-1, that is time and the space they are given. So first you classify what is the time, what is the space. So now for our, we are talking about the resources. So we go pre-industrial, post-industrial. That's 2 classifications enough. Okay. Or if you are making more classification, then you go more subtitles. It will be difficult. Why I am not saying don't go much? Because already we have space also is there. That way further classifications come in the space. So we restrict the number of classification. That's why I say time, like a pre-industrial and post-industrial, and the space. That's why I took only 3 things: developed, developing, underdeveloped. If you are going continental ways, it's very difficult to write, right? So is developing, developing. It's very easy to bring some examples. Any countries we can bring the example, we can put it. For example, we can put USA developed country, developing country, India as an example. Underdeveloped countries, we can bring any African countries as an example. It's over. Any one country is over. Don't bring everything. General discussion and bring one example, that is enough. So like this, we have to decide. So these are the 5 components. So among these 5 components, we have to check the Malthusian theory is fit or not. That's it. Normally, normally they will ask you to examine the Malthusian theory, examine crystal theory. They'll ask you. So we can ourselves we can decide the content how to examine. But in this question, content has been given. You have to examine the theory based on this content. That's it.
So whether we can critically write this answer, because Malthusian theory is some part of the development is some part of it.
That's when you can see the based on last I had given now. You can see that based on the time and space, cases supporting, cases not supporting. In a time and space, case supporting, not supporting. Yes, we are obviously going to write criticism of the Malthusian theory, but we cannot write whatever we needed. We have to write the subtitle what is given by the question. I am restricting the subtitle. Obviously, we say examination Malthusian theory is applicable on that is a question, but in a different perspective. I am giving a controls. I am not giving a free hand to write. You know that I know that you know that answer. Everyone knows Malthusian theory when writing mains. But how I can eliminate the people? I am giving a control. Those who are able to know that, able to write the answer with that control, only will get the marks. Not like whatever they are writing it. Got it? So this kind of play will be in question papers. So that is why the first line, what giving the before the question, that will give controls, what to write in the next line. So if you are writing, this is how many marks? 15 marks. Okay. Suppose if you are writing this, based on this structure, suppose you are getting 8.5 marks. Right? So one mark extra than your average. Suppose you are writing just examining, oh, I have seen exam Malthusian theory published, right? You started examining Malthusian theory published. You have written everything, but not with this order in your own perspective. But all the answers will be there. Supporting, not supporting, support, not supporting, everything will be there. How much mark will you get? Yes. What they are ready to give if you are writing the proper content, but you are given everything, all the content, but the structure is missing, you will get 50% of mark what going to be allotted in that. If they are ready to allot 8.5 for all the content what you have in proper order, if not in a proper order, you miss the structure, from 8.5 it go off a mark. It will come under 4 or 4.5 out of 15. So here again we will say, yes, I written Malthusian theory well. So we wrote a well exam, but we didn't get the marks because of structure missing. You know that answer, right? But its structure is missing. That is why I always will say by students, before writing answer, find the structure and present in that format. Even the content is less than that. Present with that content, present with the structure, you will get it. Even though less amount of content you presenting it, but in the proper order, you will get 6.5 marks here out of 15. Because you understood that question, you understood the way how to present, so you will be allotted marks. It means you are administrator, yes, you know what public is demand, you know how to execute it, right? So you are trying to execute it. But when the person is missing the structure and is dumping all this content, what does it mean? He is not really understanding what public need. He is doing whatever he want. Tell me, who is good administrator? Because this administrative exam, they will expect, the question is like a public demand. You should give what public demands, not whatever you have it. That's why I always insist go with the proper structure of the question. We will get to practice. We have still more 9 tests now. Within 2, 3, 4 tests, you will come into that light. Yes, this question I have to write only this is way. The first test will be like always like this only. So once we go into second and third, you can able to find the changes, how they read the question, how they bring your answers. Obviously, you will get to know it, right? I think this is the first time you are getting all these informations, right? So now when you are writing second test, you are obviously to start to apply in your content because it become your knowledge. Because it was knowledge of, now you become your knowledge. Then you are able to apply it. When applying it, there will be smaller mistakes will come. Next time we will rectify it. Again, you will do it. I will give, that is why when I check next question will be different perspective will be there. I will make you do the mistake. I will try to make you do the mistake. Then I can teach you something new. Right? That's why I will I will complete changing a question pattern, completely changing all the 10 questions test. At the end, you will come to know that yes, these are different kind of patterns. These are the different kind of mistakes. These are different kind of solutions available. So when you see a question in UPSC mains exam, yes, this is the type of question. These are the mistakes I will do. I should not do that mistakes. Then you will be able to give exact presentation will you give. Once you reach the presentation, 50% you have passed. That's almost you are in the 50% of marks. When you caught the content, you are near the 50%. At least you give a 50% of the content what they expect in the presentation, you will get 60%. You will get the service. That's it. You are giving both proper content, proper structure, then you will be in the number 1 list for all the questions. Right? Okay, we'll go to the next question. Land use varies with the distance from the market. Discuss the various changes and the causes using the idea of. Finally, we enter into Vantunen. Right? Okay, what they are asking? Land use varies with the distance from the market. Intensity theory or land use theory? What is given here? Land use is openly asking land use model, not asking about the intensity model. The two models, intensity model and the land use model. They are asking land use varies with the distance from the market. Go to the second model, various crops from center to the distance. Discuss the various changes and causes using the idea of a Vantunen. Now we have to go with what is land use. Land use changes the market and what ideas given by the Vantunen. Right? Now before going to write the idea, you have to write assumptions. We have a set of 11 assumptions. We cannot write all the 11 because we have only 15 marks. It's given only 3 pages. You start writing all the 11, 1 page will get over. So make it short into 1 paragraph. Fill it everything because that is not a part of the question. But we have to mention before writing the theory. Just make it in a short, make it in 1 single para, all assumptions, and go into the concept of locational rent. Explain what is locational rent. Don't draw any graph because we are going to draw a graph in land use change from the market. Here we are going to draw a graph. You know the graph? Like this, draw a graph like this. So from that we have to derive that circle model. Like this, you have to drive the circles. You know how to drive the circles? We have studied in the Vantunen model, right? Yes, wherever that cross cuts, where we get the break-even point, then we have to make a circle to get the land use model, what given by the circular model. So we derive the graph. You mark the graph of second model examination land use, several crops at different location market. A, B, C, D, you can make a crop, make a B, C, D, that is enough. And make a circle, and finally go into the final at the graphs and the different land use pattern at the end. The circle model is here given from center market to there. That is enough. No need to go to the second half. That he added that what river drainage system, river transport. That no need to give. So make a simple circle. Okay, so and give all the models in that. That is enough. No need to write the first one. No need to draw economic rent. No need to draw intensity model. Directly go to the various crops with case A and case B. Okay, so 2 pages. This will go on. The last page, draw the circular diagram and give the conclusion and finish it up. So what kind of conclusion will you give for this question? They're asking, there's no obligation here. They're asking only theory. So what kind of conclusion will you give for this question?
We can say that change with the time and space
criticism will you give? Whether you give normally these kind of theories we go in a positive mode of conclusion. Okay, positive mode of conclusion. So even though the one model is came in the 18th centuries, but it still it is relevant in all most of places of the world. For example, USA and some example wherever you have studied in the European intensity model and Paraguay region and Ethiopia region. So these are still it's applicable. Okay. Still this model, even till date, this model provides the basics for agricultural land use model in many of the model theories. So just we given a positive conclusion. No need to go criticize it because it's not a part of criticism. They're asking about the significant, no? So no need to go to criticizing it. Okay, question number 5. Growth poles are closely related to an economic space as a field of various factors at the center. Evaluate the statement. Okay, what does it mean? Growth poles are closely related to an economic space as a field of various factors, various forces at the center. You should know the characteristics of economic space first. Then you should know what are the various forces will acting over the center. Just read that second line, various forces at the center. Right? What are the various forces will act on particular center in a circle? What are the forces will act? Only two forces, centrifugal and centripetal forces. That's it. So we have two forces. So there is an economic space. Now we have to link with the centrifugal. It means that towards the periphery, how this industry, this economic space influences the periphery. And second force, centripetal force, how the outside the industry will influence the economic space. That's it. This is indirectly asking the various factors influencing. Asking the various forces at the center. So both the two kind of forces. Something is moving from center to outside. So industry influencing geographical space. Geographical space influencing that industry. That's all. So growth pole theory talks about an economic space. So based on the growth pole, economic space is an industry. It is an industry, right? So industry, it may be a propulsive industry. So what is propulsive industry? You can explain. This is a large dynamic propulsive which is having a larger input and changes based on the time and factors. It produces a huge amount of market, more income. This is a large propulsive industry. That is the economic space is given by growth poles. And now we will talk about various forces acting on economic space, centrifugal and centripetal. Now you tell me what kind of forces will affect the industry from outside. Labor, raw material, political situations, transport system. Okay, these all the factors will influence it. How they influencing it. Now, how the centripetal force, that is centrifugal force, how the industry influences the outer space. Giving employment, giving a livelihood, giving a social infrastructures. These all the things are provided by that industry to the space. Then there is a give and take policy. The reciprocal assistance of industry, economic space and surrounding area, it become a growth center. Right? So we can give an examples, growth poles and growth center. We can give some growth pole example where the outside influence is influenced the industry, but how the centrifugal is not influenced outside. For example, Bilai industry. Bilai still it is only Bilai. Only Bilai industry is developed, but Bilai city is not developed. So centrifugal force, okay, centripetal force influence industry for the development, but centrifugal force from the industry is not developed or not influenced in the outer place. So still it is a growth pole only. So where there the centrifugal and centripetal are balanced, the region will develop. That's it. When it's imbalance between centrifugal and centripetal, the region will not develop. That's a conclusion. Just like Bhilai, Rourkela, Bokaro, only industry running, but the region is as such still 1970s.
Sir, can you give the example of India in the paper?
Yes, obviously. Why can't? We can give an example of India. Who said no?
Not on perception, you can first paper.
Not like this. We can give an example of India. No, don't bother about it. Yeah, we can give. We can give, but try to be able to ready. Wherever it's possible, we can give a world. If not possible, we can give India. Doesn't matter. Okay, not compulsion. We should not give India at all. Okay, when you go developing countries, obviously we will take an example from India only. Developing country, you take US or Canada. Developing country, you take India. And now under developing, we go to African countries. We cannot talk about the Pakistan because we don't know about the Pakistan population. We know the Pakistan population. You know Bangladeshi population. How we talk about developing country? So we take India as an example of developing country. Okay, so it is allowed. It's not. It's 100% acceptable. But we should give the way how the question needed. Okay. Okay, question number B. Weber's interlocution model has made of a combination of deterministic and normative models. Question is asking you to validate. Can anyone tell me what is deterministic? What is normative?
This is the perspective of human development. Perspective of human development.
Okay.
We have to follow the environmental direction.
Fundamental direction.
Just an observation and determining that what are all we observe. Normative is taking the consideration of the humans.
Normative question.
See, each and every theory, in the theory there are three kind of approaches. Number one, deterministic, and normative, and empirical. Okay, there are three types of approaches. Okay, deterministic means before giving a theory, we have a set of controls. With these controls, I am giving that model. Have you seen in the Weber, there are 10 set of assumptions are there. That assumptions are the controls in which you have to see the theory. Based on that controls, you have to see the theory. Isotropic surface, uniform distance, even wages is given. Now, these are the set of controls. So he determines the environment before giving the theory. This is deterministic approach. You can see in the Weber also having deterministic approach, Crystal deterministic approach, Loss deterministic approach. These all people are having deterministic approach because they have set of conditions. They are nullifying all the variations in the natural world, and they are bringing the theory. That's what deterministic conditions. Okay, that is controls. And normative, using facts and figures and formulas. Using facts and figures and formulas to arrive a conclusion is called normative model. Van Tunen has used idea of locational rent as drawn a graph. He used some calculation. He used a formula. Right? That is normative ideology. Weber also used a normative ideology. What is normative ideology? Isodefense. Then material index and the distance calculation, triangle calculation. These all are normative ideology. They are using the formulas and calculation. Normative ideology. So what is empirical? Empirical based on the experience. Based on experience. The author visits many places. Based on his observation, he is giving a theory. Normally, Marx model of the population model is called, talks about empirical model. This is not a normative. This is not a deterministic. It is empirical. Based on his experience, he is saying it. Whether he used any calculation? No. He didn't do any calculation. Just he said what he observed in the world. That is empirical. Right? Now here we are asking, Weber's interlocution is deterministic and normative. Now you should prove it. They are asking to validate. Yes. Now we have to talk the introduction about Weber's industrial model. Then we talk about deterministic validation of deterministic elements in a Waiver. Now listed 1, 2, 3, 4, all the assumptions. These are the deterministic controls given by the Waiver. And normative ideology talks about material index, talks about triangulation model, isodependence. These three are part of a normative content. So Webber's model is combination of deterministic and normative. Concluded. That's all answer. So you no need to write all the theories. So you give a proper subtitle. They are asking deterministic model. Yeah, this is a deterministic model. These are normative. Yes, these are normative content. Over. So we go to the last question. There is a definite link between functions of a settlement and its spatial locations with regularity in the distribution pattern within an urban system, illustrated with a relative model. Which model we are asking? Which model we are asking? Central place theory. How we can find a central place theory? You can see the link between functions of settlement and spatial locations, distribution pattern. Have seen the triangles, honeycomb structure, distribution pattern, function of settlements, market, transport, administrative settlement, spatial location, where it should be on the hexagon. This 3 is given by Christaller. That's the direct question of Christaller's statement. So we can say what is the function of settlement, distribution pattern of settlement with urban system. These are the introductions. All this is explained by the Christaller model. So Christaller used 3 types of functions: market, transport, and administration. He is explaining the spatial arrangement based on K3, K4, K7 arrangement. Now we have to give the structure of models. We give that this is market structure. When you go to the next hexagon, this is transport structure. So here he says this is the administrative structure. So in that we can say the distribution pattern, spatial location, everything is explained by using these hexagons. Clear?
So K3 is a market.
K3 is a market.
The same content.
What content?
Repetition of the content.
No. See here you are talking about the location, spatial location of settlement will be given based on their functions. See, the location of settlement will be at the edge of the hexagons, but in the middle of the hexagon in the transport model, but inside the hexagon is when it is coming administrative model. Now we are explaining the spatial location by using the three models.
Because we will bifurcate the question in the function and space here. Function we are discussing on the market, transport, administration. If we are going to again discuss the K3, that is again same content.
See, the question itself is they are linking it. Just read the first line. The link between function of settlement and the spatial location. So we are saying, yes, if it is a market function, it will be on the edge of the hexagon. If it is a transport, it will be at the side of the hexagon. If it is administrative, it will be inside the hexagon. So there is a link between the function and the location. That's why we are explaining it. That's it. Same thing they are asking, same thing we are explaining it. We know to explain the function separately, spatial separately. He is talking about 3 functions. He is using 3 functions to identify the location of settlement on the hexagons. Now we are explaining K3, K4, K7. That's all. Right? Now directly we start with the Thomson notice. Suggests a relationship between population change and socio-economic development. Unless the relationship with Indian context. Now you should give example from India. That's the numeric transition model. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Stage 1, when you are giving example, when you are giving that value, you should give example from India. DTM. Demographic transition model. Demographic transition model.
Yes, I forget the name of that
See, that's a matter. This Thompson noticed, that is why we should know the name of this scientist exactly. Sometimes they will ask, they will give only the name. They will not get the theory. Now you have to explain the same theory, same graph, but in the graph, when you are explaining that some demographic data, high death rate, high birth rate, low death rate, and everything should be given example from Indian context with years before 1951, 1981, and 2000, and at present date. So we have to give that example exactly. So we should know the Indian population structure. Clear? Sometime they will ask Indian context even in first paper also. Don't think they will ask in second paper. They will ask in first paper also, they will ask. How far laws sought to explain the size and the shape of market areas where a location would command the largest revenue. Exactly this question derived from the aim of the loss theory. If you say, if you take the how far the loss sought, right, and you write here aim of the theory is to explain the size and the shape of the market areas where the location will be command the largest. That is exactly aim of the loss theory. That's all. Now what you should write? Complete theory. Same thing. So you should know it. This is the aim of loss. If you know it, then you can able to write complete theory from the top to bottom. That's so loss theory and location various. How was various crystal idea, and this all these components you are write it down, right? And okay, the next test will be on 16th July, right? India physical setting alone. So make sure that you are preparing all the content. All the topics. So what are the ideas we have discussed now? So try to apply it, and all the topics should be prepared well. And the mapping part, Indian Ocean should be prepared. Indian Ocean, islands, there's marginal seas, bays, Gulf Straits, islands, and ocean basins, ridges into the oceans. Everything you have to study, right? And in India map, all the physical aspects. Peaks, passes, glaciers, plateaus, and plains, except northeast. So northeast will be a separate test, because normally people will not say northeast. So if we keep separate test, then we will prepare northeast. So I know that psychology of aspirants. What are the components people will leave? I will keep a separate topic. So obviously we have to study that. Okay. So this is the content. So entire the content are the base for remaining 9 units. So don't leave not in a single topic in unit number 1, because this is going to play a fundamental role for all remaining 9 units. How much strong you are in the first unit, then you can able to crack all other units very easily. Normally we say 40% of time we spend this first unit, 60% time we spend this another 9 units. Okay, that much we are strong, then that much easy all other units are. Okay, and don't go to different varieties of books. Go with any one book, maybe a Kullar or maybe Gopal Singh or Majid Hussain, whatever. Maybe one book you take and read it properly. That is more than enough. Don't read variety of books. Read it and try to observe the content and think about the different ways how we can present different kind of pictures like that, right? And we go into the map marking system. So from next one we have map marking. So make sure that when we are writing in a A4 sheet is something different. When you are writing inside the map is something different. So when you are coming into that map area, it is a representation of the globe, part of the globe on a map, on a paper. So there are some controls, some restrictions, some rules and regulations to be followed when you are writing something inside the map. We cannot write whatever we are writing in A4 sheets. We cannot write like that. You should have some proper controls and regulations. These regulations we should use properly. Then only we can able to score very good marks in our maps. They are very easy, but you have to keep it in mind. When writing it, yes, we have to keep it in mind. We should be very careful when writing the letters and the names and markings. Because they are giving 20 marks. It can easily come, it can easily go. If you want to get it very easily, little bit effort when you are preparing, when you are marking it, that is enough. If that smaller effort is more than enough to get 18 out of 20 in a map marking. You can score 18. Just imagine how much tough to get 18 marks. You get very easily in maps. Right? So first I will give you some of the basic content, how the maps should be marked. Okay, in a map there are 3 basic symbols will be used. Okay. First is a dot symbol, underline symbol, and is an area symbol. 3 types of symbols will be used in the maps. Right? The dot symbol will be used to locate up places. New Delhi, dot. Chennai, dot. Mumbai is a dot. Right? So these all are dot symbols. And suppose you are try a bridge, yes, dot. Suppose bridge you are drawing. So this is the river system and the bridge. And river, waterfall. Got it? A small cut across the river. So we are locating, yes, exactly this is the waterfall. This is the bridge. Like that. So these are dot symbols. And when we are marking some linear features like rivers, transport lines, international boundaries, these are navigation routes. These all are come under linear features. So we can make a lines with the different symbols and different colors. As a river, different colors. Okay, we can use the colors here. Right? I will tell you what are the colors we use it. And when you go to area, aerial symbol, so we denote some area, distribution, any distribution component, distribution of soils, distribution of vegetations, agriculture, rainfall. What are the distribution? We have to show some area, right? So like this. Just I mark in here. This is area. Say I mark something. This is area of black soil in Maharashtra. I have drawn this is grey brown soil. These are the areas. So these are area maps, right? Okay, these are area symbols. Now we know we got the symbols, right? Dot, linear, and aerial symbols. Okay. So based on the question, we should decide what kind of symbol we should use it first. What we should decide that. Okay. Normally, mountains are not drawn in areas. Their mountains are linear symbols. Never use that area. Suppose you are marking Aravali mountain, you should draw a line from line here. So do yes, Aravali mountain. Suppose you are drawing a Karakoram, you have to draw a line like this, Karakoram. But most of the people will use like this. They will use. They will say this is Pirpanjal, right? This is wrong. We should not do that. You draw a line. That's all. Mountains are linear features. They are not aerial features. So keep in mind. So that will be more confusion. That's why particularly I am saying it. Remaining things are we can easily identify. Railway routes or train routes, international boundaries or rivers. Everything will come under lines. Okay. Now I am saying what should not use. Very important. We should not use any arrow mark inside the map. No arrow marks inside the map. If I am saying something, I am making an arrow like this. It means something is moving on the geographical space. The arrow is a very important symbol. If something is moving on the geographical space. Whenever we use that arrow, it means we can use the arrow to show the navigation route or river direction. So suppose I am drawing a river. You can show that arrow mark, yes, river flows. Or migration of Rongias. See, now I am saying migration, people are moving. Or I can show direction of southwest monsoon, wind, flowing. Right? So like this we can show, if you are putting an arrow, it means something is moving. So use of restriction of arrows are very, very important. Normally people invariably use the arrows inside the map, they'll get negative markings. Don't use anywhere unless otherwise, yes, if something is moving, I want to show, then use it. Otherwise, don't use any arrow anywhere. Clear, right? Now we come to color components. What kind of colors we can use it? So when you mark the cities, there is no restriction. We can all the dot symbols we can use it with any colors. Normally I ask you to go with the black. Okay. It means whenever you mark a dot, suppose you want to mark a Delhi, I ask you to keep a dot like this. Normally I ask you to keep a dot, but people will say, sir, dot is okay. This is not a dot. Dot is, this is dot. So suppose if I am keeping a dot here, whether the examiner can see the dot? Obviously very tough. So what we do? Keep a dot and make a small circle around it. Now people can see the dot. Right? So keep a dot and make a small circle, like a punching circles. Make a small circle over it. Then we can write it down. So how we can write? What I did? I took what color? So all the writing components should be in only black in color, no other colors. Right? One thing. Second very important thing, whenever writing something for dot feature, what the dot feature, you should write everything in horizontal direction, exactly horizontal direction. Suppose if I am writing New Delhi, you will not get not even half a mark for this answer. Take your atlas and find whether the names are written in inclined manner. Have you seen anywhere how it will written in atlases? Exactly in horizontal direction. That should be maintained properly. Many people lose mark only because of this. They write in the flows like that. You will not do that. You should keep very carefully. Okay, you keep the paper exactly, then write New Delhi like this. New Delhi. Yeah, it should be horizontal. Exactly horizontal. And there are 4 orientation to write. It can be right hand side, or it can be left hand side, or it can be top middle, and bottom middle. Right? Any side it can be. But any one format you have to use it in the entire mapping. If I use the right hand side, use only everything right hand side. Dot, circle, write it in the right in the right hand side. Make it a simple format. It is easy to write. If suppose something very closer, what we can do? So I cannot write right hand side of the points. What I can do? Suppose they are asking something here also. What I will do? Now you can go to the left hand side. No, not problem at all. But you should maintain the same horizontal structure, not the inclined structure. You should not take off. You should not land. That's very, very important. Clear? Right. And we should not use capital letters unless otherwise you are going to write it for capitals. That's why these are capital letters. Suppose you are on to Chennai, then you can dot, make a round. Yes, then you can use it Chennai here because Chennai is a capital. But when we have to use it in legend box, what are the symbols we are using? We have to show it in a legend box. Here we use like this, okay? Dot circle. Then you use it as state capital. It means state capitals are written in capital letters. Have you seen atlas? All countries' capital are written in capital letters in the world map. All state capitals are written in capital letters in India map. That's why they are called capital letters because they use only for capitals. Just keep it in mind. That capital letters will be used to write only the capital city names, not any other names. Because capital letter itself is a symbol of a capital. We should not use it anything, anywhere, any other cities. Suppose you are writing in a world map, you have to use it only for country capitals. If you are using in India, you can use it only for state capitals in India map. Okay, same way if you go to the world map. It's not changing. What happened? Okay, so I want to show the world map in the next page, so we can do it for itself. Okay, and next thing, suppose you want to write something on the coastal area. Okay, something on the coastal area. Suppose you want to denote the location of Mumbai. I have told you will write everything on the right hand side. So how will you write right? If you write right hand side, no, because all the coastal locations, if the city or the district or whatever something is near the coast, they are enjoying the coastal area, it should be written only on the sea. So the name of the Mumbai should be written here, Mumbai. If you are writing Mumbai inside the map, what does it mean? It is not belonging to the coast. You cannot write Chennai inside the map. You write on the sea. If you are writing something on the sea, it means that is related to the sea on the coast. Visakhapatnam, Kollam, Thiruvananthapuram, right? Surat. This all will be written on the sea because they are coastal locations. It should not be written on the land. Okay. So these are the very important controls when you are writing the names or the dot maps. But when you go to the line maps, we can write it anywhere like this. So the same black color, the same black color. See, I have drawn a river, Ganga. I can write Ganga here, Ganga. Right? I can write it on the flow. Here no need to follow the right direction. Wherever we are making a line, we can write on that. Suppose I am writing here. Okay, this is Malabar coast. Malabar. Clear? So whenever you go physiographical structures, for example, here I am writing here it is a Karakoram. Karakoram. We can go with that flow. No need to orient with the right hand side. Clear? But when you are writing an aerial structure, again we have to follow with the right. Suppose if you have a space, here I am saying, okay, black soil. I have a space, I can write black soil. It's not writing properly. Okay, black soil. We can make it horizontal direction. But here I don't have a space to write grey brown soil. Then I can use it grey brown soil. Like grey brown. I can write it within that. Clear? So like that we can adjust based on the area what we get in area symbols. If we have a larger area, we can write horizontal direction. Or a smaller area, we stick on to that structure to write it. If no, not possible to write, sir, this is a Malabar coast. This is a very narrow region. I cannot write. Okay, write it up, but in the same flow. We can write it and we can write it on the same flow. That is very easy. Clear? And now for the physiography, there is already fixed symbols are there, fixed colors are there. Mountains. Now we go with the colors. Mountains and the plateaus, these all the elevated areas are must be shown in only two colors, black or brown. Don't use any other colors. Mountains, that is a peaks, mountain ranges, plateaus, these all should be shown only black or brownish in color. Okay, and water bodies are must be in bluish in color. All water bodies bluish in color, and soils try to go with the respective colors, black, red, red. Okay, and vegetation obviously go with green color, maybe in agriculture pattern, or maybe go with natural vegetation. Always go with suppose you want to show rainfall distribution, go with the blue color because it's related to water, so we go with the blue color. Don't bother about that. And something you cannot show it. Sir, glacier, how to show? Glacier is normally having white color. How to show white color in a white paper? Not possible. So we can go some uncommon colors, pink or violet. This cannot be used for any physiography. So that we can use it for the wherever some white color is coming, we can use that colors. Desert, we can use pink or gray. Something we can use it. Right. So these are the controls, right? But when whatever we mark on the map, good cartographer always try to give more information to the reader. Who is giving more information is a good cartographer. So as you are writing an optional exam, you should show your cartographic methodology to give more information to the examiner. Then you will give more marks. You are drawing a river, yes. You are written a river, yes. Ganga river is flowing from Himalayas to Bay of Bengal, is flowing towards the east, as informative. Mountain informative, doesn't matter. But I written as a Chennai there. What information I can get from that? It is Chennai, it is state capital, and it is on the coast. Anything else I can get it there? From this map, I am saying. Whether I have showed anything? No. Right? Now we have to use some signs to show its characteristics of a city. Chennai is a port, right? So we are going to write the content in the 30 words. But before going the 30 words, you have to give more information in the map itself. When he sees, he should identify the characters of a Chennai. Now we use the symbols. I have drawn some boat, right? What I will do? I will draw boat here. I will say this is boat. Clear? And I take some red color. I drawn something, then I mark here the same symbol, same size, but whatever write, we write in black color, right? Don't forget, it should be in black color. I am saying automobiles, automobile industry. Clear? And I am using something here. Thermal power plant. Now you see, when I look at the Chennai, I can say, oh, this is state capital, located on the coast. It is having automobile industry. It is also a port. It is having thermal power plant. Now it is more informative. See, these symbols are up to you what you will use. They're based on your interest. Some people will use circles, some people will use circles, geometrical symbols. Okay, they use circles or maybe square, triangle, inverted triangle, solid triangle. Or they use T for thermal power plant. That based on your interest, what you will use it to use. That is your cartographer, your decision. But we need something there to give information. But in physical, there is a restrictions. You should do only this color, it is only these symbols. But in a political, in economics, there is no control. You can use any symbol. Some of students to show the national park, they will draw like this. They draw a tree. Okay, I saw some people will draw, they show like this. They see the face of a tiger, or people will mark. What is this? Pug mark of a tiger, there is a tiger reserve. That's based on the creativity. But there is no, whether you are drawing a pug mark or you are making a T or tiger reserve, doesn't matter. Both are similar, but you should use something to show. That's based on your creativity and your artistic art. Okay, so what you can keep in the mind, just pick it, do it, that's all. Because whenever we're doing a math practice, I ask my students to, yes, you follow one kind of a symbol, set of symbols for the resources, for the industries, for the biosphere resource, national parks and everything, for the physical, just keep in the mind and do it. Don't follow others, because each and every student's caliber is something different. So based on my perception, what are the objects I can keep in the mind, that I can do it. So same way, all of you people, what you can keep in mind, you decide on your own. I can do this, I can use this symbol, I can use this symbol. That's it. At least two symbols, use it for each and every city. At least 2. But more than 3 also not good. So all the symbol 1, 2, 3, 4, all the symbols will be in the line. It not be advisable to use more symbols. It doesn't look good. And 2, it's optimal. This is okay. 3 is always good. Okay, at least 2 is okay. Otherwise, at least 1 should be there. Then okay, he has tried something to give more information. Right? We can do it. Right? So don't think I am dumping the more content, because I am saying this all the content you have to use it in next map test. Try to implement it. Do the mistakes. We rectify it. I always advise students, don't bother with the mistakes when you are writing a test. Do the mistakes. Try it, do it. Because once we do the mistakes, if I correct it, you never do that mistake again. You never do it. If you are hesitant to write because of it may get mistakes, you are not writing it, you never learn it. You never learn it. So even the 10 places, whatever the place I am giving it, you have to mark all the 10 places with all the different symbols. Let it go, all 10 is wrong, not a matter. But once you do the mistake, automatically you will correct it in the next test. This is the best way of learning. Don't hesitate to do the mistakes in civil service preparation. Come forward, do it. Don't bother. Come forward, write it. No problem. Whenever we do, we learn it. Whenever we hesitate, we miss it. Clear? So keep all the instructions, whatever I said in this test, the test discussion, question analysis, and the mapping component. So keep in mind, and we'll get little bit more. We go step by step. Once I'll check your papers and I will give you some corrections. And if you want, anytime you can rewrite your test. No need to ask me. Just go rewrite it and bring the paper to me. I'm ready to evaluate and give you the papers. See, you are writing for 3 hours. I would evaluate for 10 or 15 minutes. See, when you are ready to give 3 hours input, I can able to give 15 minutes. It's not a matter. I never say, oh, why you are writing without, I don't have time or anything. This is injustice. I cannot do that. If you are ready to put work, I am also in counters, but I will giving my work from doing. Right? And keep all this in mind. Okay, so we'll meet in the next test, possibly That's on Sunday, na? But next Sunday, okay, we'll have a test discussion. Okay, we'll see. Anything you want to ask, then you can ask me from your side. Question will be like this, only it will be tougher in the sense because I want to make you to do the mistakes because I have thought you many things now. Like I cannot follow the same pattern in the next test because you can able to write well. So I'll go to the next level. You'll expect something. Yes, something happened here. This person setting question this much. What to do? Then I will tell you these questions are going this much. The answer should be in the this much of content. Then we'll go to the next test. So in that something will be new. I will add it in the test. So each and every question I add something new. I want to give some values in that. So I never allow you to crack very easily, like UPSC. Then you will learn, right? But when at the end of the test, you will come to know that yes, these are the problems. These are the problems I had, but I have solved it. Then whenever I see the question, to be able to identify this is the pattern of the question. In this pattern, already I have done a mistake. I know how to solve it. Then you are able to give a better answer compared to others. That's the objective of our test batch. Clear? Try to crack my question papers. That's your motive. Okay? Thank you.